So if you guys are curious how to install STI either 4-piston or 6-piston brakes on your VB WRX, I've got a set of STI 6-piston calipers for the front and the nice STI calipers and rotors and everything for the rear. So these are off of a 2019 plus STI, and we are going to be installing these brakes on my car today, getting rid of these that I put Carbotech pads on, and after 8,000 miles my rotors are pretty much shot. Look at the ring on that. And these are the pads off of the other side, so they're probably about half life. So we're going to be taking off the 2-piston front calipers, going with the big 6-piston. 1, 2, 3 on each side, 6. And so I've got some parts to unbox here in a sec. We'll get to those. We got the Paragon Performance brake rotors, and then we've got some brake lines, stainless steel brake lines from Rotora. Now guys, I already started working. Here's a little peek at the passenger side. So the big issue with the STI brakes on the VA and putting them onto a VB is the rotor alignment doesn't match up perfectly, and you're going to end up usually having to have a wheel spacer. Well, I reached out to Paragon Performance and asked them if they can build me a set of rotors to work specifically with the STI 6-piston calipers. They said yes, they could do it. And that is these bad boys right here. Look at these guys, 2-piece aluminum top hat, sexy. It's like in a matte finish, and they are slotted. These are 340 millimeters from side to side, so they're pretty big. The nice thing is if you look at the wheel offset as well, with having no brake spacer, it doesn't mess with your wheel fitment. It's still sitting just like it would be from factory. There's no longer wheel studs or anything, so everything's just a direct bolt on and looks freaking awesome, guys. I couldn't be happier. So the big boy Paragon is just about 13.3 inches, and the stock rotor is about 12.3 inches, so this has given us an extra inch of girth. The more girth the better, that's what my wife always says. So here's a peek at what it looks like mounted on the passenger side, guys, and it looks sick. These are a little scuffed up. I mean, they're used, they're not perfect, but they look pretty good after washing them and kind of just giving them a quick wipe down. And then this rotor from Paragon is just crazy sexy. Look how good it looks. It's got the matte black finish, and it's got the nice slotted rotors. So I want to give a big massive thank you to Paragon Performance. I will have a link in the description down below for this brake kit. They will be offering it to sale for the market now. So this is the model number here, and it's for the 22 plus WRX 2-piece brake rotor, front left. So if you guys are wondering about the brake lines, you can actually reinstall the stock brake lines. I tested them on the other side and they mount perfectly in and will work perfectly, but I wanted some stainless steel brake lines to give you that better feedback. So I reached out to my friends at Rotora Brakes, and they said that they could go ahead and make me a set to work perfectly with these STI calipers and mount right up to the body of the car. So the good thing to know with the brake lines, guys, if you look right on here, the L47062, that says that that's for the front, which I didn't notice that at the front because it's kind of small. So pay attention to which ones you're installing where. It also says that this is for the Subaru WRX VB, made in USA. It's an OEM caliper line. So what I was confused with these is I couldn't get any information if the if you needed different aftermarket brake lines that were longer, if they were different with the Brembos, and the answer is no. This is just the factory replacement. So these will work with the OEM brakes or with the Brembo brakes. Either one, there's nothing different. It's a direct bolt on, so you guys can either use the stock ones or you can just upgrade to any aftermarket stainless steel lines. These work just fine. I'll put a link to the Subimod's website, where you can just order these directly, and they're less than 200 bucks for the whole set, so not a bad deal. So I've got the rear brakes here, and what I think I'm going to do in today's video is just go ahead and install the fronts. I don't want to run out of time. I have to work tomorrow. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm trying to film as well as do the install for you guys. But I picked these up on eBay. It came with the whole knuckles and everything, which is cool because I'm going to need the rotors for the rear. And having these rotors on there saves me a little bit of money. Plus it comes with the heat shields. I wanted to see if the VA STI heat shields will mount up to the VB, so I'm kind of curious on that. And yeah, we'll figure that out, and I can share all that info. And it looks like there's going to be some e-brake stuff that I have to mess with, and I just don't want to run out of time today. So let's do the front brakes today. I'm going to give you guys the most detail that I can, and let's get to work. All right, I got tons of lighting here to try to get good visuals for you guys. My rotor is so far worn down that I'm going to have to remove this back part in order to take the pads out to pull it up and off. A couple of 12mm bolts hold the back plate on, and we're just going to go ahead and knock this bleeder open so we can get all the brake fluid just drip right down into the bucket in the bottom. So you guys are going to want to use a 10mm flare nut wrench. It's only tight down with about 10 pound-feet, and what you're going to want to do is go lefty-loosey. 12mm nut that holds this on underneath. Save that bolt for later. And this banjo bolt is 12mm. Pretty easy. You can see you got crush washer here and there, so you don't want to lose those if you want to reuse them. Definitely would replace them, would be the best. And then let's go ahead and finish removing the caliper off. If you ever have to get a wheel stud out, you can see this one was really stripped really bad. Here's our brand new Subaru part number. So that wasn't too bad, guys. To disassemble all that only took me about 5 minutes, and here's a good look at everything underneath for you guys if you're kind of curious what it looks like. So here's our hub. We got our ABS line. And no, it does not match up. So the dust shield helps keep brake dust down, but it is actually ineffective at cooling by removing the dust shield and allowing the air to go through these veins in the back and circulate through. It actually gives you 50% more cooling capabilities with your rotors. So definitely better performance with the track, with brake fade and high-speed braking and all that type of stuff. So I was going to leave them off anyway, but I wanted to throw that in there if you guys wanted to install them. I was curious if it would fit, and they don't. Look how good these Paragon rotors look compared to the ugly OEM, and you can see how that is definitely taller right here. That's why it's like 7.5 millimeters difference in this area right here. And this is going to give you a lot of weight savings, probably like at least 5 to 10 pounds lighter than just the solid steel ones. And holding the Paragon, like, this is pretty light, and then the stock one, I'd say it's got to be like 10 pounds heavier. And when it's lighter, it's going to give you a more responsive steering and just a lighter, less unsprung mass. So it's good for, you know, acceleration, steering, braking, pretty much overall just handling dynamics. And I know you guys are going to say, oh, what about the 2024 TR WRX that's coming with the 6-piston brake kit, basically the same setup? Well, that car is going to be more than the GT version. It's supposed to be like $48,000. I'm running the base car. I'll have probably about 40 grand put into it. It's making 373 torque to the wheels, 323 horsepower, and it's way faster, handles way better than what that new car is. It's definitely a way better value for people like you and people like me that like to work on our cars, mod our cars. We can kind of pay as we go, customize it, kind of put our little touch of ourselves into it, and I would rather build it myself than buy it. Built, not bought. Right, Bucky? New rotors cleaned off real quick. Oil and stuff off of them on both sides. And the moment of truth, guys. Let's get this bad boy on. Just squeeze the juice out of these. Make sure the pistons retract, and they do. Alright, I went ahead and washed up the calipers so it's nice and clean. It's going to look way better going onto the car. Nice and bright yellow. Still not, you know, perfect, but perfect enough for my car. I'm not all about aesthetics, I'm about performance, and this is going to be that ticket. It's nice and sunny out here. I'm going to take a 5-minute break before I put the STI caliper on video. I figured it'd be a good time to let my back rest up and have a little bit of ice cream. I really need one of those like mechanic chairs or stools that you can like roll around when you're working in the garage. I'm like always bent over or kneeling, squatting, and my back is just killing me right now. So time to chill for a little bit. Let's get back to the video. This is a comparison for you guys. This is the STI caliper bolt. This is the factory caliper bolt. You can see there's quite a difference in size and thread pitch. So when you guys get your STI brakes, make sure they come with the bolts. That's why I bought everything on the knuckles. So here's our upper caliper nut, which is torque to spec, and then we got the lower one down here. All right, guys, so we are fully hooked up to the factory brake lines here. So you guys can see it just plumbs right in. All the way up to the top. Everything goes right to the factory fastening points, and then that's just the banjo bolt that came right out of the factory caliper. I just reinstalled it. It plugs right into the Brembo. I've got the Brembo one that came with the Brembo kit still in there because it was kind of gross. So factory ones work no problem. All right, last step is to install the rotary brake lines to the front. And I apologize, guys, if my energy seems kind of low. This is the third install video I've done 3 days in a row. I did this install in video editing my first day off, and then I did this install for the LED daytime running lights on my second day off, and did the video editing last night. And then today I'm doing brakes. So I'm pretty freaking exhausted. My body's tired, my mind is tired. So if I'm not putting the amount of effort and detail that I normally do into this, I apologize, but I'm trying to show you guys everything I think you guys still need to know to get the job done. So now that we've loosen the brake line up top here, you want to make sure you loosen that before you take this clip out, because the clip kind of holds it into the car, which, you know, allows you to twist it off. You can use a hammer to just kind of loosen up the little tabs, and from there you can just kind of pry this off. There we go. Hit this with some brake parts cleaner. So super excited on these. But look at the banjo bolt connector on this side. The material just looks like it's a higher quality material than a lot of the other brands online. Look like they're, I don't know, almost sourced from China. Like, look at just the material feels like a really high quality stainless steel. It's got a little swivel head on it. And this is going to give us that extra feel that I'm looking for. This is the Rotora banjo bolt, and this is the OEM one. The OEM one's longer, and the reason why is if you compare the eyelet on the banjo bolt. The Rotora one is a little bit narrower than the factory one, so that's why the bolt's a little shorter. And I like that it comes with the copper crush washers versus like these, whatever these other steel ones are. Let's go ahead and put the retainer clip back in. Now let's go ahead and tighten it with the flare nut wrench. And you don't need a lot of pressure on this, guys. It's like 8 to 10 foot-pounds. That's perfect. The cool thing with these lines too is they're actually adjustable inside the little holder, so you can get the lengths exactly adjusted perfectly. Let's get the Rotora brake line in here, guys. Make sure you put your crush washer in on the eyelet bolt, and then once you slip that through, make sure you get the crush washer on the other side so you get a good seal. You're going to need 2 for each eyelet bolt. You just take your time to thread it. You don't want to get anything cross-threaded. The calipers are made out of aluminum. The eyelet bolt is steel, of course. Torque specs in the factory service manual, I believe it's around 8 to 10 pounds, so I'm just going to kind of snug these down. Alright, brake line is on, guys. Look how nice it looks. Rotora does really nice brake lines. They're really well known in the racing community, and it's nice to have something made in America that's really good build quality. And look how good that looks. Everything just mounts right up perfectly to all the factory points like it's supposed to. And let's go ahead and test the lockout to make sure everything's set up. Here's the other side in the dark, but it's all set up as well. And we've got plenty of room for the brake lines to move. So you can see plenty of clearance around the body and everything. So we're good to go. And look how nice the box and packaging is on this stuff. It's super huge, thick foam, nice big packaging. Very happy. Has the bed-in process for the new rotors. So follow this. So guys, official pricing from Paragon after speaking with them after doing the install. It's been a few days now. They're going to release these rotors for $950. They're still making some final revisions to them, so reach out to them and you guys will be able to get yourself a set for your car. And Paragon does offer replacement rotors, so you guys can replace just the outer section of the rotor for $550 and you'll be good to go. I went ahead and bought some Motul RBF or racing brake fluid. This is the Race RBF 600. It's a .4, which will work in the WRX. Let's go ahead and put some brake fluid in, guys. Be extremely careful not to spill any of this. You may want to use a funnel because it'll eat away at your paint. So when you guys bleed the fronts, there's actually 2 bleeder valves, one on each side. So make sure you bleed both, otherwise you're going to have air in your brakes and your brakes aren't going to work. So let's begin the bleeding process. Julia's the pumper. Go ahead, honey. Okay, go ahead and pump, Julia. So I've bled both sides. I've topped off my brake fluid. Now I got brake fluid all over my caliper, so I need to clean it off so it doesn't eat away at the paint. Here's a look at that rotor center alignment. So I've done the bleeding process starting all the way from the farthest away from the master cylinder all the way to the closest, which is here. So we are completely done. It took me about 2 quarts of Motul brake fluid to do the whole job. Wow guys, that looks pretty freaking epic. I'm super happy with the way that these turned out. Now if I could just get that stupid Carbotech brake pad dust off here, I'm gonna have to sit here and scrub. I just can't get that stuff on. It's like it's turned into like rust and like molded to the wheel. But plenty of space on these bulk CE28s. Plenty of space on the spokes. You've got more than a finger. Let's come to the other side. I had some people asking about different type of wheel fitment, so I went ahead and put the STI wheels on from the GR STI, and I mean these are not even torqued all the way down. They're just like 10 pound-feet on, and there's maybe not even like a millimeter of space between the caliper and the wheel, so that's gonna need like a 3mm wheel spacer, but it does look really nice. I wanted to put these on for the car show because I thought the gold would look cooler than the CE28s, but I'll leave the CE28s on. And then we've adjusted all the brake lines, everything. There's plenty of space. I was gonna go ahead and put on a 5mm spacer and rock the STI wheels for now because I really like the look of the gold, but these 5mm spacers are for a Skyline, and those aren't going to be centered in there. They're moving all around, so that's not going to work. So I have to order some 3mm spacers, and then I can throw those on. You guys go ahead and do me a favor, leave me a comment down below. Do you guys like the Volk CE28s, or are you guys a bigger fan of the gold STI wheels? Well guys, this has been a long time dream of mine come true, and I have fantasized about these brakes pretty much ever since I bought the car. So I've had them for a couple of months. It took me a while to get the rotors all set up. Thank you so much to Paragon Brakes for making this a reality and getting the custom brake rotors for just a direct mount on, guys. No wheel spacer, direct mount on, direct plug and play. And thank you so much to Rotora for making me the brake lines that I need. They freaking fit awesome, and I'm super excited to take this thing for a test drive. I will have a link in the description down below. It'll be a direct reference page for everything you guys need to do if you want to do this exact same brake kit for the 6-piston brakes like I did. I'll have a link in the description down below for the 6-piston rotors, calipers, brake lines, all the tools you need, as well as I'll have links for the Brembo 4-piston setup for you guys as well. All right, I've got all the wheels on the front. Back ones are back on. And these wheels are plus 3.5 offset. I think these factory ones are 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 offset, so you're gonna probably need at least a plus 50 to work with the big 6-piston STI calipers. Otherwise, you know, plus 4.5, plus 3.8, you know, all those different sizes are gonna give you enough room up front. I also replaced all my lugs, so I just got a basic set of steel lugs from Discount Tire. West Coast Wheel Accessories, this is the model number. And I don't know if you guys had issues. I kept having issues where these ones, the factory ones, kind of would like bind up. I have ruined like 3 different wheel studs, and these ones went on butter smooth. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description for those as well. Look how good this looks, guys, on the ground with the STIs in there. Freaking awesome. I could not be happier. I'm so excited. The pads that were in these calipers were stock pads. They have about 60 to 70% left on them, so I'm going to go ahead and use them for now, and then I'll upgrade later on. Pads for the big STI brakes on the 6 pistons are pretty expensive. They're $500 for the front and $500 for the rear. So you guys stay tuned. I will be installing the rears next week. I'll have an update video on that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you want to, you know, try to save costs, you can always just go with just the front brake kit. 70% of all your braking is done on the front anyway. The rear is definitely going to help, but the biggest difference, if you don't want to make as big an investment, is just do the big rotors in the front with the big either 4-piston or 6-piston. It's going to be night and day difference over stock. But she's looking good. Let's pull this out of the garage. floor is nice and clean, just the way I like it before the next job starts. Let's go take this bad boy for a drive. Not sure if you guys can see me, but we're going to take it for a quick drive, and straight away the brakes are quiet again. They feel like they have a lot more grab because there's way more pad, way more surface contact. My biggest concern, I just want to make sure I can drive to work safely tomorrow. It's 9:40 and I got to work in the morning, but here's our stop. So yeah, they work good. Full lockout test. No issues with the lines fitting or binding up or anything like that, or rubbing or touching anything. And we are home. There's the GTR just chilling. I don't know if you guys can tell, this is my low light lens. It shoots in f1.8, so I can see pretty much in pitch black, zero light. But it's crazy, these things are cool and you can hear them kind of creaking as they're settling. Thank you so much for watching. My goal with my R32 is to get that finished, and then with my WRX is just to build it like my 02 WRX. I had, you know, a bunch of bolt-on mods. I had the suspension, I had the Brembo GT brake kit, and this thing is pretty much to the level of where my old WRX is. It's actually more powerful. Now the last thing I need is some body kit and aero mods to complete it. Love my clean floor. But I'm sure glad I made the right decision not to attempt installing the rear brakes today, because right now, with taking my time and filming everything, trying to get the best detail in this video for you guys, it is 9:49. I have to be to work at 6:30 in the morning. I still have to go up, shower, make my lunch, and go to sleep. So yeah, definitely worth it. I can't wait to drive my car tomorrow on the way to work and really test these out. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And I'd like to give a big thank you again to Paragon Brakes and Rotora for making me the brake lines. Without you guys, I couldn't have made this happen. So I hope you guys in the VB community appreciate this info. If you do, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. And after driving the car just a little bit tonight, kind of getting a teaser, I'm so excited for these. I think it's going to be well worth the money and the effort to install them. I've had the front brakes on the car for the last 4 days. I've done lots of driving. There's very minimal dust compared to what those old Carbotech pads used to put out. So I'm very happy with that. The braking performance far exceeds the Carbotechs as well. Plus it's quiet. They barely make any sound. So yeah, they look good, and very happy with it. The car feels very strong. It feels stable, especially at high speeds over 80 miles an hour. When you push on the brakes, it effortlessly stops, where even the Carbotech pads would struggle with the old calipers and rotors. So if you guys are considering doing STI brakes and wondering, hey, is it worth it? Hell yeah, it is. The 6-pot ones are fantastic. If you guys want to save money, you can go 4-pot ones as well. But we're going to go ahead and install the rears today. And so depending on when I have time for that video, it may not be up until next week because I have a car show and I'm working overtime and I'm busy with family life and stuff as well. So yes, be patient for that. Here's a look at the brake lines and the rear brake setup that's going to go in. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys leave me a comment down below. Share the video so we can help grow the channel. We're almost to 12K subs. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.